Good day, this is Times United. I'm streaming for Flotations and LCD Productions. We're working on the Sleeping Spring project. This week's episode is featuring downtown Flint and the parks downtown. Last night we did a lot of editing, mostly animating the slideshows, doing the photographic animations, but wasn't able to finish it. It got pretty late. I was up to like 1 in the morning, 1:30, and yeah, so now we will continue with that. I edited about 2/3 of it, so I did all of this. We just have this to do. So for the rest of the stream, it's going to be animating and then fixing the coloring of the video. So all these clips in blue, they're the video, and they're not color graded at all. But the photos, which is the purple and green, those have already been colorized and color graded and everything. I do the color grades for the photos in Lightroom, but then I do the color grades for the video in the application. And I do that mainly because the photos I take in RAW, and this application doesn't support raw images editing or anything like that. Most programs don't accept raw video editing. Programs don't accept raw photographs as like something you can use as assets. Okay, so yesterday was like dreadful. I told you guys about that, but today I feel really good. I feel more relaxed and calm. Yeah, I mean, I've been feeling better. I mean, aside from my sleep problems, I've been feeling better. With just in general, like I've developed kind of new coping mechanisms, I guess you could say. I mean, like I still get nervous a lot, but instead of like trying to confront it and like reason with it and things like that, what I do now is I just let myself feel it. So like if I'm getting worried or something, it's just like, instead of trying to block it or trying to like talk myself down from it, it's just like, I'm feeling these feelings for a reason. I might as well, just feel it. And then like instead of repressing it or trying to reason out of it, I mean that process works the best. It's just like I feel it and then I acknowledge it and then I just move on. And so that was a good thing to learn. I mean, there's a lot that I have to worry about, but now that I'm getting better at, not letting your emotions control you, really. And like I always used to be like really calm and everything. This nervousness it's kind of something new. I don't know what it's from. It's really hot today. Probably only like 50 degrees, but it's so hot. I had to take off all my sweaters and layers and everything. I'm not used to this weather. since December, our house hasn't had heat, and we live in Michigan. And so, I mean, no heat in winter. It was like 0 degrees for most of winter. And so our house has been freezing the entire time. So I'm really used to like extremely cold weather. And so now that like the sun's out and it's 50, it's like I'm not used to it. And so this must be how like people in Alaska feel if they go to like California or something. It's too hot. I'm not used to it. And the joke of it was I think it was Monday. Like we just had this huge snowstorm, and so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like 3 or 4 days later, it's like really hot and everything. So that's kind of funny. Just plowing through. I made a couple mistakes already on the stream, but I fixed them. And then I wasn't expecting to get a good night's sleep last night, but I kind of did. I drank a lot of soda because I was gonna do a late stream, and I started at like 11:30, and then went to 1:30. But in my head, I had planned it. I was gonna go longer than that. I was gonna finish at like 2 or something. And I just got so tired that I started making like more mistakes and everything, animating. And so I was like, oh, I better call it quits. And then I was like, I didn't know what to talk about. I was just sitting there doing my thing. And I was getting slightly grumpy with everything that happened yesterday. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go to bed. And so then I finished everything and went to bed, and it was like 2 in the morning. Still didn't fall asleep till after 3. I was like, oh. And some of that was some of it was like I was getting grumpy about like the things that happened that day. The other part of it was that, I drank too much caffeine. And that's the thing I don't really like about caffeine, is it kind of holds you hostage. I mean, like I drink my coffee in the morning, and then I drink tea throughout the day. But like in terms of like if you go out to eat and drink a soda at dinner time, it's like, well, that's gonna keep me up for like X amount of hours. And so then you're sitting there and at the restaurant and stuff, it's like, oh, that's okay, I have a ton of stuff I want to do tonight. And then it's like the second you get home, it's like, I'm really tired. But the caffeine keeps you from falling asleep. So it's like, you're being held hostage by your own body. And so for some reason, it just never works out. It's like I don't drink that much soda anymore. But I try to avoid it. But when I do it, like it always seems to backfire. And so now I'm just Accidentally hit the wrong button. Scared me. I thought everything left. And so this area of downtown Flint is kind of, it's called the Bricks. It's where they have like the famous brick road, and it's like one of the original roads that were made in Flint. And then I had weird dreams last night. One dream was that I had an extra sister. I was like, oh my goodness. And then it turned out to be an older sister. And I was like, what? Why have I never seen you before? And then that part was funny. And then there was like some event we were all getting ready to go to and everything. And that part was like, And the funny part was, in my dream, I was in my room and getting ready to go to this. It was like this, not party, but it was like this play that was being put on, and then there was a party after, and I'm getting ready in my room, and then my mom and dad come in, and they're like, "Oh, this is where the construction people came. They fixed all this stuff." And then my mom was showing my dad what they fixed, and I was like, wow. Because then I was looking around my room, and I was like, my room is like, it's really clean. Thank goodness I took the time to like clean it up and everything. And so then I woke up and I was like, oh, I wish my room, like this, in my dream, it was not just like super clean. It was like redesigned, repainted, everything. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. I'm so glad I took the time to do that. And then I woke up and it's like, I still have to do it. Maybe it was like a dream of the future. I've just been so busy, and I used to do work in my room. And when I did, I would do a lot of projects, and then I'd stop and just clean up everything. And then I'd start doing a lot of projects. And then as I finished them, I'd stop and then, start the process over at cleaning. But I moved out of my room, and so now it's just kind of stayed. Like I never go in there unless I'm sleeping. So I have to dedicate a day just to cleaning everything up. And not only that, I need to move more stuff out. I mean, like, I'm not like a hoarder, but there are like things I have in my room that I have had in there since I was like 7. And so I have to go through and do like a mass exodus of all this really old stuff. And it's just like things I never use. I just kind of keep holding on to for sentimental reasons. And yeah, so I have to go through that. And like every once in a while, I do, like, this isn't the first time I've done like a mass exodus where I get rid of a ton of stuff. I've done it 3 or 4 times, and I don't know what happens. Like I'll go and I guess it's mainly clothes that I give away, but I'll go and give away like 10 or 12 bags of clothes to the Salvation Army. And so that helps the room for a little bit, but then, things start accumulating. But even the clothes I still have a problem with because like I still have, you know, pants and stuff from high school and sweaters and stuff. And the sweaters and everything, they still fit. And high school was about 9 years ago for me. But like the pants are never gonna fit again. But I still have the hopes that like, oh, I'm gonna lose weight and I'll be able to fit into my old pants again. That's never gonna happen. I mean, I have been losing weight. For the past 3 months, I've been losing about 10 pounds a month. But unfortunately, that kind of stopped. And a lot of that was from my diet change. I just, instead of eating 1 or 2 meals a day, I switched my diet to like, I force myself to eat 3 meals a day. Like I have to eat breakfast. Which is not something I like doing. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. But like when I first wake up, if I eat, I get like really sick. And like even if I wake up too fast, it's just like abruptly. It's hard to describe. It's like if I'm startled awake, my stomach like really hurts throughout the day. So I don't know if there's like some process my stomach's doing while I'm sleeping and it gets interrupted or something. But every time it happens, I kind of think, I'm like, you know, this is kind of like in the Halo books when somebody's waking up from like cryogenic sleep, and then they have the cryo gel that they put in their lungs and everything that they have to cough up. I was saying, maybe that's what's happening. My body thinks it's going into cryo sleep, and then it wakes up and it's like, bah. But so yeah, so that's why I usually skip breakfast. And so like I'll wake up at 7 or 8, and then I don't eat a meal until like 2 p.m. And so I switched that where I forced myself to eat breakfast within the first 2 hours of waking up. Some of my friends and stuff, they're like, oh, that's ridiculous. You have to eat breakfast within, you know, a half hour of waking up. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. The best I can do is 2 hours within waking up. But, I mean, I have a problem with it. And on the days I have class, the class I take, starts at 9. So I wake up at like 7:45. And then get ready, make my coffee, and then eat breakfast. And like my stomach is like so upset during class. And so I think a lot of it is, one, I'm drinking the coffee so close to when I eat. And then 2, again, I'm like eating right away. So like on a good day, my stomach can't handle that. Oh man, I'm having so much fun. I'm like plowing through this and we're almost done. This is like one of my favorite parts. It's doing the animation. And the other thing that changed was the type of coffee I have. I went to Mexico in 2010, and I went to this finca. And a finca is it's a coffee plantation that they have in Mexico. So it was a nice trip. It was in the mountains, and it was in this place called Chiapas, Mexico, and yeah. So I stayed there and I took some photos, and they're on the Flotation Store website. But when I left, I bought several bags of coffee, and so that was again in 2010, and I used one bag of coffee right after the trip, but then I saved the other two, and so last month and 2 months ago, I opened one bag, and then last month I opened another bag. Once it finished, and the coffee was so good. Even though it was it's 2018 and I got it in 2012, but still, it was some of the best coffee. And it was hard to describe. It was not stronger. It was just smoother, and you didn't have to use as much of it. It was a high quality, coffee. So with my espresso machine, I use 2 tablespoons of coffee beans, and then I grind it up, and I put it in the espresso machine. And now that I ran out of the coffee from Shepard's, I moved to this different brand from Costco, which is organic, and it's not as good. I think it's coffee from Honduras, which normally I like, but it's kind of weak. So I have to use 3 tablespoons of coffee beans and then grind that up and put it in the espresso machine. And so 2 tablespoons, like before, is too weak with the new coffee. And then 3 tablespoons, that's it's bitter, it's kind of gross, and so I'm not really happy with it. And then the other thing is, it's almost like I'm a smoker, because I drink it and it's so strong that it comes out of my pores, and so I end up smelling like the coffee. The coffee, and it's it's dreadful. Okay, I'm gonna animate this. I have to make this a clip, like these ones, like these animations. I just did it as a clip, and they're easy to just insert. But I have to do this one as a clip instead of animating it each time. Okay, because it does get tedious, because I've already done this 5 times. So I do 5 seconds. 5 seconds transition from black to it's like a cross dissolve. Yeah, so that'll be 6 seconds back. Well, no, it's 5 seconds back, but it has to go to 26. And that's Let's go to the beginning of 26 seconds. Okay. And then fade to black. Okay, so this is like a cross dissolve, and then that's the end credit. So the animation's done, and I'm gonna do like a test render where I render at like 10 or 12%. I'm not gonna do that right now, but I'm gonna do it after I finish the color grading. And so now that process starts. And so if this was like all video, what I would do is I would actually with the video, well, with photos and videos, what you can do is you can add an adjustment layer, and then it's really cool because like a lot of times if you're shooting the same scene, the colors are extremely similar, and so if you want to apply the settings to one, you can make this adjustment layer, and so this everything beneath this layer is affected by the adjustment layer. And so then I can go over here, and where is it? Oh my goodness, does this not have it? Here it is, separate one. So then you can go and do curves. And so then, because I'm editing the layer, like that, like everything beneath it, even this, and this, and this, all of it is edited the same. And the same effect is applied to all of it. But that's what I do if I'm editing like only videos that haven't been color graded, but because I'm mixing it with photography that is already color graded, I do it one at a time. And like that sounds like a lot, but like as you can see, I mean everything in blue is a video. So there's exponentially more photographs that have already been edited in the video. So it's not as big as a task as it seems to do it one at a time. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna add that. And I usually only do the curves. I try to set the camera's white balance to the correct setting. And so what this does is curves change kind of the brightness and the contrast of the image. And so down here it affects kind of the tone of the darks. And then up here you affect how the light is affected. So if you want the brightness, like bright things really bright, you can bring that up and see it's all blown out now because it's the brightness, but you're pushing it even farther. But if you want the brights like really dark, you pull it down, and then it makes everything bright go down. So I'm going to boost it a little bit, and that's where it was. And then here's kind of the midtones, and so if I bring that down, everything in the middle kind of gets really dark. And then, but I don't want that. And so doing this, it's a way to edit the photographs and get a higher dynamic range. It's a method that you can use to get like an HDR photo or video. But I mean, technically, it's called tone mapping. It's not HDR. HDR with photographs is when you take a lot of photographs, like you set it up on a tripod and then you take 2 or 3 photographs at different exposures, and then in Photoshop you combine the photographs. So like the dark things that you have a long exposure for, Photoshop will use that, and then for like things like the sky, which are usually so bright, and you take a short exposure for. Uh, uh, then Photoshop will use that, so you get like a huge range of detail, and it looks very surreal because I mean it's a higher dynamic range, and it's like more than what the eye normally would see in real life. So it looks really surreal, and it's a cool effect, but I don't do it so much. But this is kind of, it's an alternative way to get a higher dynamic range and to kind of clamp down on like data that's not useful. Because with this camera and with the GoPro, it records kind of a lot of extra data, so that's like a wider color gamma than the eye can really see, and so this kind of brings everything. It increases the contrast. It's kind of a side effect, but it brings it kind of down to more visible light. And so that's one of the things about shooting with RAW, is that you can't shoot direct RAW and then kind of release it without doing some color changes, because I mean it shoots, the way RAW works, it shoots so much more data than than a printer can handle, or than a display can handle, showing all at once. So it does look kind of hazy and deprived of colors. And so while this camera doesn't shoot RAW, it does shoot like really high bit rate and kind of extra data. And so it's kind of like massaging it so that you get the colors you want to see. And so like here I'm adjusting the darks, and so I can make the bridge more well lit. Let's see, that's what it looks like before and then after. And then you kind of learn, like a lot of the curves look similar, but they're all kind of custom. But you learn, how to edit the curves based on which camera you're shooting. Because different cameras have different record, slightly different. So what curves work for one camera don't work exactly the same for others. And then it looks like for these ones I'm going to have to go change the color, the white balance, but we'll see. I'll do that after. I'll come back and usually the similar you have the curves, like for this one I'm doing in 3 points. Usually I like to only do 2 points. But so that's kind of working with curves. So I'm going to be doing this for the rest of the stream. And then if I have energy, I'll go and we'll do some Photoshop work. editing medium format film. Do, 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 do. Just kind of getting rid of the extra data. So I'm getting excited. Almost done with school. After this semester, I only have one class and then I graduate, which is like about time. About time. And I'm really excited for it. One, because, I mean, so many things have happened while I've been in college. But I can't wait for the day where it's just like I never have to go back to this college. I mean, it wasn't a bad college, but it was just like I'm ready for like new experiences and kind of a new central lifestyle. Like it's just time to go. And kind of getting a degree in application development. I mean, it's unfortunate. I should have saw this sooner, but it taught me I don't really get that much joy out of programming. And the reason why it took me so long to learn that is because like I was really good at it. And it was like, oh, if you're really good at something, you must like doing it. It's just like it took me a long time to discover that that's not the case. I just feel so much happier doing art projects and then doing photography and video editing and digital other digital art like 3D modeling and things like that. And so I'm gonna get the degree and then hopefully I don't end up working at the college again as like tech support. That would be funny. But I'm gonna apply to kind of a wider variety of jobs. Like I am applying to jobs now, but right now I'm trying to do retail and other things like that. But I would like to get a job as either a photographer for like in the malls, like the JCPenney photographers or something like that, or you're working with a studio. I publish landscape photography, but I really started off doing event photography from a really young age. Like I was doing event photography when I was 13, and then I just kind of moved over to landscape photography because like if you're taking pictures of mountains and things like that, you don't really need like permission from the mountain. The mountain's not going to sign a non-disclosure. I mean, like there are some areas where you need permission to post and take photographs, but like in national parks and stuff, you usually don't. But so that part was easier, less legal stuff, and it's just I enjoy nature so much, and like walking around, and I just feel more comfortable doing that. Because like when working with people, you have to pose them and everything, and then you really have to sense what they're comfortable with, and what they're not comfortable with, because like everyone's different, and some people are like self-conscious of certain things and not. So you really have to kind of detect that when you're doing portraiture work. And mountains don't care. You can take an unflattering photo of a mountain and it's not going to come and have an avalanche on you. Okay. And then the other nice thing about like getting a second job, kind of outside of this, I kind of decided that like Thumbs United and LCD Productions is like a hobby now. So I'm just doing it for fun. I'm not really doing it to make money or anything. So that part's kind of changed. Because like when I originally started, I was like, this business is gonna take off. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna be able to travel, and that will be my job. And that kind of didn't happen. So now I'm kind of changing the priority and making it a hobby. And it's a hobby I'm gonna do for hopefully for the rest of my life, because I really enjoy it, and I feel like it's refreshing to have all these projects that I care about and like doing. But I do have to start making a profit right now. Pretty much everything I make goes to kind of the finances of LCD Productions. But what's nice is like, because I know that like I know exactly how much I have to make each month and everything. And so now, like, once I get a new job, it's all going to be extra. So that can go straight into savings, which is something I really need to work on. Like, I need to build an emergency fund and everything, because I don't have a safety cushion right now. And it's stressful not having a safety cushion. I mean, like, really stressful. Because right now I'm like essentially living month to month. Okay, we're getting closer to the end of this project. I'll be moving over to something else. I'll take a short break. Do 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 do. Okay. See, yeah, I only have 4 more videos to color grade, and this would be a good time to save. And then I have to I'm not gonna do it live, but I have to write I have to write episode 4 of Project Newfoundland. Episode 3 is public on Patreon. Not public, it's private on Patreon at the $2 level. But I have to work on episode 4 for the month of May. And my target is to get it out on May 1st. And then I have to do live to tape. I have to write the story, and then I'm gonna live stream me editing the part where I take out all the license plates and everything. But yeah, so I have a little bit of just kind of going back and re-editing it a little bit. Okay, and that's the last one. Okay, so now there were some that were in question as to the coloring. Let's see. That's not quite right. Not quite right. See, this is why I don't like adjusting the white balance. Because it's kind of a headache. Like once you do it, you have to do it for everything to get them to look similar. I might just go back and delete this. Okay. Yeah, so this is going better. So it looks like I'm going to go back and do the white balance for everything. And the clouds, this is why I like shooting the clouds with clouds, because you can always assume they're white. Oops, added the wrong one. I don't really like that. Let's see if I find something else that's gonna have to do this manually. There we go. Do. I know the sidewalk's not exactly white, but it's kind of how I want to compensate. Because it is slightly yellow. And this camera kind of records a little bit too many reds. It's too warm. So my first choice is the clouds, but that seems to not be working. Here's some white. Let's go for that. No, see, I don't like that. I'm so used to the default working on curves that I keep going for that one. Okay, white balance. And this is going much faster than the other project I worked on. Before I had to color grade like very manually. Like there was no color picker that I could use because there was nothing that was like really close to white. It was all nature and everything, and you had to really eyeball the white balance. So this project, fixing the color it's easier. Do 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 do. Okay, forgot what I was doing for a second. Had to start daydreaming. So, in terms of gaming, I've been going back, and I'm on my second playthrough of Andromeda, Mass Effect Andromeda, and I mean I think it's a good game. There's a ton of side missions, which is what I like, because like each side mission is like 15 to 20 minutes. And it's just so much nicer because like it tells you where to go, and that was like the thing about, especially with Mass Effect 1, you had no idea where you need to go, and so it was like exploring the Citadel, like that section was like 5 hours long. And so it's nice that it's like, okay, you have to go to this planet, you have to go to this section of the planet, here's how you get there. And I enjoy going on the Nomad, driving around. And I like the people you bring with you on your missions. I like kind of banter depending on who you bring on the mission. But I was maybe 4 hours in for replaying Andromeda, and it was I had like completed all the side missions for the 4 hour mark, and I was like, there's not much left to do. So I did one mission in the main story, and then all of a sudden I have like so much to do. Like doing that one mission, it unlocked like 5 or 6 other story missions that are like, they're all urgent. You have to do them all at the same time. So that part I didn't really appreciate, and that's kind of the problem with one of my main real problem with Andromeda is like everything's important. They want you to do everything at once, but it's just that is really wrong. But there's kind of, the pacing isn't that good. It's just like the game is, it's like all the middle. There's no real climax. The part that I do like is that you can just kind of chip away at it. And then there's so many side missions that, I mean, it can take like 100 hours to do everything. But now it's like I have 50 missions that everybody wants me to do. And so it was kind of like so overwhelming. It's like, okay, I'm gonna put this down. So I have to go back to it. But what I've really been doing is, lately I've been streaming, playing, X-Plane, the flight simulator. But I plan on alternating, not streaming. I do Mass Effect in my private time. You know, I didn't really like that. Don't like that either. No, that didn't work. Okay, that's better. And we're halfway there. I was only gonna do a couple of white balances, but it's making a big difference. Whoa, that's not acceptable. That's better. I think that's good. I'm not sure where I'm gonna do the next episode. I kind of want to go shoot it Friday, so tomorrow. But there's 2 parks I want to go to, and they're right next to each other. So I think I might do that. I usually like to go shoot at the golden hour. And the golden hour is like, it starts 2 hours before sunset, and then it only lasts an hour. So it goes to an hour before sunset. And it's when the sky is like full of kind of oranges. The sun's getting ready to set. There are longer shadows. And it's better. It's just kind of a better time. A lot of times when you're shooting movies, you want to shoot at kind of that time period, in that range, that time of day. And like if you shoot, like the color throughout the day changes. So like if you're painting or taking photographs in the morning, the color temperature is different. It's more blues, it's cooler colors versus if you wait till sunset. And late in the day, it goes to more warmer hues and like more reds, more oranges. And so choosing what time you shoot really changes how kind of the look of the image and everything. And I've been consistently shooting in the evening, but because I'm planning on shooting 2 parks, I'm gonna go a little bit earlier. I want to get there at 3. And I'll shoot for an hour and a half at one park, and so that should take me to 4:30, and then I'll go to a different park and shoot from 4:30 to like 6. So that's kind of my plan for tomorrow. I'm gonna stop going on weekends. It's just because everyone's out, and I like shooting alone. And that was like one of the things I didn't really like about shooting in the city. It's like everyone wants to come to talk to you, which is okay. I'm fine. I talk to everyone, but there were some kind of like creepy people that were around, so it was like, I didn't really feel comfortable. And like there was this one person who came up, and I was like, oh no. I mean, he wasn't homeless, but he was asking for money. So he gave it this long old spiel, and then he's doing like the fist bump, and I'm like, I don't like touching. Don't touch me. And it was, I mean, like he was like, oh, we're best buds. Hey man, fist bump, and then he was like, oh man, I was doing this thing, and so then he was like, he pretended to punch me in the solar plexus, and I was just like, I don't know you. Why are you doing this? And then he told me this long story how he ran out of gas. He's not from the city, and I was like, I'm sorry, I have no cash. And so he was like, the second I said that, he was gone. and kind of sees me as a walking wallet. And then I just watched the other episode, the one that's up on Patreon, the Sleeping Springs at Kersley Park. And oh my goodness, the video was like, the video's in 4K, but the version that's up on Patreon, it's HD, it's 1080p, and the video was like, wow, it was really crisp and clear, and this was on the YouTube that I watched it, which is slightly more compressed. And so that was kind of like but this one's a little more challenging to find the right. Oh my goodness, I'm not even selecting this thing. I ruined this photograph. Do. Okay. So we're almost done. We have maybe 4 more videos to color grade. This one is getting really annoying. That's good. Oh no, this is the last one. The other ones are just the logo closing. That's almost good. There, that's better. Okay, we're done with this project. So I'm going to go and then test and do a test render. And yeah, I'll let it play. I have to, I'm going to take a short break and get a drink of water. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to set up Photoshop, and then I'll be editing medium format film in that. So it'll take me a second. I have to find it. I kind of had a lot of problems with this medium format project. Not so much the project, but with Windows. Windows, there was a different hard drive I would use. It was a USB 3.0 hard drive, and every once in a while, Windows would be like, "We detected errors on this hard drive. Do you want to scan and fix?" And usually I select no, but then there was this one time I said yes, and it deleted a whole directory, and so that it deleted like a top level folder, so everything in it was just erased, and so like I lost a whole bunch of original photographs, and it wasn't that bad because I had already backed them up to the cloud and everything, but I had only backed up like the final edit, and so the originals were gone, and I was like, so now I never trust the fix utility on Microsoft. Like I've done a ton of repairing hard drives on the Mac, and then there's like a special program I have on Windows that works well, but I don't trust the built-in Windows recovery. It was terrible. I have to change some stuff. Okay, almost ready. Let's see, where is... I gotta find OBS. Okay. So here we go. I'm gonna start editing this image, and it's really just dust removal that I'm doing. Some of the images are like really bad, and some are okay, they're passable. But yeah, so these scan medium format, it's kind of like the sensor size. It's the frame of the negative is really large. It's double the size of 35 millimeter, and so it's higher quality, but it also adds kind of more of a range of depth, and more of a range of depth of field. Let's see, navigator, where are you? There we go. I'm gonna make that nice and big. Okay, And here we go. I think it's gonna get comfortable. And so this is the image. It was taken in Italy. This is in Rome, Italy. This was inside a cathedral. And it was really dark. And we're going to go through and... Oh my goodness. Okay. Hold on, I have to turn off. I hate the Windows pen feature. Where is it? I'm sorry, this is... I guess it's not the Windows pen feature. It's being really annoying. But... Okay, this isn't working. It's a huge image file. That might be why. It's about 70 megapixels. Okay. So we just... and that's not what I want. Content aware. The settings are different than I'm used to. Here it is. That's why. I think this is why. There we go. I don't know why I was having problems before. Okay. It might be OBS, which is why it's struggling. Come on. Photoshop. You can do it. No, now it does it. Cancel. Cancel, please. Please cancel. Okay, now we're moving faster. Do. This is taking too long. I'm gonna quit and relaunch. Okay. Hold on 1 second. And I'm gonna restart Photoshop. That's frustrating. I don't know why it's having so many problems, because I've done plenty of captures of Photoshop before on this PC and then on the Mac, and I had no issues. Okay. Testing out different things. Having technical difficulties. I'm gonna have to look up online why it's. Okay, I might have to not use the pen. I'm having problems with my with using my pen system. So I just have to use mouse and keyboard. Let me figure out what this command is. Okay, so I'm going to switch back now. This is a lot harder using the mouse. Okay, this is weird. So my button map is wrong. Okay, I fixed it. But now it's way too sensitive. Touch options. Nope. Nope. I'm changing the settings for my Wacom tablet. Okay, here we go. No, I lied. Okay, I fixed it. Now I can get back to work. Okay, just not gonna go much faster. Thank goodness. I don't know what the problem was. Because, I mean, there's still a little bit of issues. But I had all this set up before. It's like every couple of months, you have to go back and like reinstall the driver for the tablet. And like Windows always tries to uninstall it. It's like every time it updates, and it's really annoying. And this image is a lot cleaner than they usually are. Okay, so I go back to over here. Not a lot of damage. So that's good. And then like this image, it's 70 megapixels, but you could really get a lot more out of it. It's kind of a time thing. When I developed the film, you cut it into strips, and then it's one long strip, and with medium format, it's 12 frames, 12 images on a roll of film, versus like the 36 with 35 millimeter, and that's because the film is, I mean, it's huge. It's 80 millimeters diagonally across, so it's over double the size of a 35 millimeter. I guess I might have picked a boring image to edit. Here's some stuff. And because it only fits 12, like in order to store it, you have to cut it into strips of 3 images. So you end up cutting the film, and then I scan that, and so I scan 3 images at a time. So when I do that, I can't scan like 100 megapixels per frame, because that would take too long, and I have to go into like when you scan, you have the option to crop, and so I just scan the whole 3 images all at once. But if I wanted to, I could go and crop and have it scan one at a time. But scanning the 3 images all at once, it's faster, but it still takes a long time. It takes it's like 4 or 5 minutes per each scan. And so recently I went through and I scanned all my negatives. This is the second time that I've done it. I did it with a lower quality scanner before, and I really wasn't happy with it. So I went through and scanned it again. And the quality is a lot better. And Let's see. There's a reason why I was talking about that. I forgot though. There's a big one. So this is going much faster than I thought. I exported a whole bunch of images to work on, so there's a lot we can do. After I finish this one, I'm gonna take a short break again. I have to get another drink. There was a while where I was like concerned about just like I was really concerned with my sugar intake. Like I don't take it in a lot of sugar, but it was just like I don't know, I was having like blood sugar spikes and everything where it wasn't like a spike up, it was a spike down where all of a sudden I'm like starving and I have no energy. And so I decided to like cut out more sugar. But the funny thing is now I'm drinking like healthier juices and stuff, and the problem kind of went away. So I don't know if it was that I didn't have like enough kind of like fruits and vegetables in my life or what. Yeah, so this, I mean, it was an okay image to get started on, aside from the technical difficulties. But I would have liked to have started on an image with more problems. Do. Okay, so I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna take a break in a second, right after I double check the bottom row. And yeah, I'll save this image, then I'll open up the next one. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be the next image I'm going to do. Again, this one looks pretty clean, but I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I'm gonna get back to work. So this one has a little bit more problems, so it should be more fun to edit. Yeah, see, this is much better. And working on Windows, it's a lot more faster than my Mac. I have a really old MacBook Pro. It's a 2011. It has an i7 processor, but that's pretty much the only reason why it still works well. And then I made some special modifications, Millennium Falcon style. And I took out the original hard drive and then I put in a solid state hard drive, and that really helped. And then after putting in the solid state, that kind of gave it extra life. And then I took out the CD drive. The 2011s were like the last Macs to have the DVD drive. And then I got this. It's like a special adapter that it goes where the CD drive goes, but you can install another hard drive. So the laptop has two hard drives now. One's a mechanical one, and it's a terabyte, and then the one it actually boots off of is a solid state. And I mean, it's okay. Personally, I like it. It was like not the last good Mac. There was another Mac that came out, a MacBook Pro, that I really liked. It was one of the first Mac Pros with Retina. I mean, I never owned it, but I almost would have. But it now when they made that one, it was great because it had like every port was USB 3. A lot of computers at the time, there'd be two USB ports that were USB 3 and the rest would be USB 2. It's like, why don't you just make them all USB 3? And then there was something else. It had an HDMI port as well as having two Thunderbolt ports, which Thunderbolt was kind of... I liked Thunderbolt, the idea of it, but it never really took off. It was like the whole deal with Thunderbolt was like it was so fast it was like having a PCI Express. It was like you could connect like an additional graphics card to Thunderbolt, and that was like what they advertised. But that never really happened. Like there were no like adapters that were made so you could fit an extra graphics card in, for the laptop at least. And then yeah, so it was kind of a lie. And then Thunderbolt 2 came out, and I think it came out too fast. They never really supported Thunderbolt 1, and then like you're supposed to be able to daisy chain like you could with Firewire, and a lot of the devices that used Thunderbolt, they didn't they weren't 2 ports, so you couldn't daisy chain with them. So like the hard part is like if I wanted to use my Mac with a monitor, I have to use a DisplayPort adapter to go to DVI, but then I can't use the other feature of Thunderbolt, which is like for high-speed data. So if I went out and bought a Thunderbolt drive with 2 ports, then I could connect the DisplayPort to the other end of the drive, and I could do it that way. But like getting a drive with Thunderbolt is it's ridiculously expensive. It's like maybe 50% more to get it with Thunderbolt than to get it with like eSATA or something. And so then I looked into getting a dock. But that didn't really pan out. Like there was a dock and it was like $250. I was like, oh, I guess I'll save up for that. And then it just kind of disappeared. They don't really sell it anymore. So I missed that opportunity. And the dock was nice because you could connect HDMI and DVI, and then it had several USB 3.3 ports, and so that would have accelerated my Mac a lot. But I can't find it anywhere, and it's not exactly something I want to get refurbished. It just got like really cold in my room. I don't know why. And then later today I'm going to start a rerun, and it's going to be the Mass Effect Let's Play series, not the live stream. Some people are getting confused that it's a live stream, and it's not. It's recorded live to tape, and then it premieres a new episode each week, and each episode is about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And we're almost done with Mass Effect. We're on episode 6. I think it's either 9 or 8 episodes. So that's going to be happening for the rest of the day. Do. This image is moving a lot faster than before. There we go. Luckily that was a mistake. Nothing too bad happened. So we're coming to the end of this image. What is this? How did I miss this? This is the fun part. I like restoring the images. When I first started this process, I was like, this would be great. I'll start a business, and then like people can bring me their old film, and I'll scan it in, and I'll fix it up. Like I'll charge one fee for scanning it, and then another fee if they want restoration. But as you can see, the restoration takes a long time. So I kind of said, I don't want to do that at a large scale. I did some archiving kind of earlier in my life, where my art teacher hired me to archive. She had this huge collection of art from she was from Russia, and so she took a lot of the students' art with her to kind of save it. And so, like a couple times a week, I would go to her house and just start archiving it, taking pictures of it. So like, just kind of digitizing the artwork. And that was a lot of fun. But then, unfortunately, like looking back on it, I wish I would have kept the job, but everything, I was getting really busy with schoolwork and everything. And so I had to let it go. But I took it was over 4,000 photographs I did for that project. I'm just gonna double check up here. I'm pretty sure I went this way. Okay, I'm gonna save it. I'm not sure about this next one. Oh my goodness, you guys are just seeing the navigator. I have to change that. I don't know how that got set up. Okay. Okay, so this is the next image. It's kind of hazy. It was really foggy this day. And then this is in Florence, Italy. I'm checking to make sure. Okay, there we go. And so this area is Florence. I believe I'm on top of the Duomo, which is Brunelleschi's dome, and this is looking out. So there's a little bit more problems with this image. I'm just gonna tackle it. But first I want to change some settings. Getting applause. we go. Yeah, I'm back to work. And then this is going to be the last image for today. I'm probably only going to get through halfway through it. And then after this, I'm going to start the Mass Effect Let's Play. Yeah, I was talking earlier about I have Photoshop on my Mac and also on Windows. This one I'm editing on Windows. It's just so much faster because one's a desktop and one's a laptop. But like just doing these dots, it was like nowhere near real time. It was like you do a spot heal and then it's like you had to wait 2 or 3 seconds for the computer to catch up. So this is a lot more productive. I haven't been able to work on Windows for a while because I was doing so many renders, and I render in Linux. So my Windows computer is a dual boot, and I just spent most of my time rendering, like I said, and so I didn't have that much time to use Windows. And then I started going back to school, and all those classes have like programs that you have to run, and it has to be on Windows. The college isn't really Mac friendly. They expect everyone to be using Windows, especially for programming. Like there are no programming classes for the Mac. It's all programming for Windows, which is okay. I mean, it's a little bit easier. But the kind of side effect is like they make you install, like for each class, there's like 5 different applications you have to install, and it's kind of annoying because those programs do slow down your computer a little bit. Like there's different like VPN stuff I had to install so I could connect back to the school network and access their servers. Okay. Getting back to work. After this, I have to go eat breakfast. Then I'm gonna start working outside again. It's like a fantastic day outside. It's warm. It's like 50 degrees, and yeah, I'm excited to go back out to work because I need some sunlight. And I've kind of run out of things to talk about. I made a photo book, and I kind of want to. No, it's not kind of want to, but I am going to give it to a friend, and I'm just not sure how to get it to her. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to give it to her mom and have her mom deliver it to her. But she just moved away. And yeah, it's kind of, I wanted her to have the first copy. It's terrible because they just found like a brain tumor in her brain, and so she's going through like chemo and everything. So that part, I mean, it's stressful for her because like chemo is terrible, and but so that's kind of the main reason why I want to get her this book. So I'm just like, I'm not sure. Is it weird if I drop it off at her old house to have her mom deliver it to her? But I think that's what I'm going to do. Because instead of like pestering her for her address, I'm just going to give it to her old home. I think I'm just gonna go to the edge of this photograph, and then I'm gonna end the stream. It's getting kind of long. I kind of hit my target. I wanted to go for 2 hours, and we did a lot of stuff. We animated the Sleeping Spring project, and then We did 2 or 3 photographs restoring, and so I'm gonna end it there, and I have to go eat breakfast. Yuck. And I'm getting kind of cold. I have to go find a sweater. I mean, it's really warm outside, but inside the house hasn't caught up, and I'm working in the basement, so it's like extra cold. So after this, if you want, you can stay tuned. I'm gonna start the Mass Effect Let's Play episodes 1 through 6. Episode 6 is the new one, and so the Let's Play is gonna pretty much be streaming for the rest of the day and into the night. So if you want, you can tune in whenever you want or whatnot. It is a Let's Play. It's not a live stream. Some people get confused that it's live stream, and then they get grumpy when they find out it's not live, and it's just like, no, it's an edited and like produced project. It's not live. So that's gonna happen in just a second. So thanks for tuning in. The photography and everything, if you want to see more, it's from Photations, and there's a link in the about page for the Twitch channel. But the website is photations.com. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. And then if and then if you want, there's even more photographs at the store, which is Photation Store, and that's PHOTATION store.com. And so you can see all the photographs there. And I'm gonna zoom out. So that's kind of, we did the top layer over here and everything. And so later, tomorrow probably, I'll come back and we'll do the bottom half. And then it should be rendered, the testing phase for the Sleeping Springs with downtown Flint, and so that should be, I'll look at it, and then if there's anything I have to fix, I will be fixing it live tomorrow. It's probably going to be start the stream about the same time, around 11 or 12 to 1, so kind of late morning Eastern time, and then kind of stream into the afternoon. So thanks for tuning in. This has been Thumbs United. We'll see you later.